All right, everybody. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day so far. I had a lot of trouble waking up today because it has been like nonstop storming here, and that always makes me want to sleep like nonstop. So I am kind of groggy, kind of out of it, but that's okay. So what we're gonna do is, as soon as I find my art glove here, a what did I do with it? We're gonna be doing an updated character sheet slash some concept art. For August, I need to lock down what he's going to look like in the updated comic once we get out of the flashback. So I've already set up a character sheet in Clip using, excuse me, sorry, 3D models here. So I'll go ahead and pop that up so you can see what I got. So I've got like, a front facing one, I've got like a back facing one, and then I've got like an up close here. I was trying to find, I did some actual concept art of his pistols at some point, and I don't remember where I saved them now, which really sucks because they were pretty cool. And I gotta figure out, you know what? They might actually be on my phone. I could email them to myself. That'd probably make the most sense. I put this damn 3D model in his hand, and I realized that I made his either pistols as revolvers, where he has crystals that he charges his chaos magic into, and then they have different effects that he can switch between. So yeah, so I got to make sure that I found some references of some revolvers here. I'd actually designed some really cool ones, so I'm trying to find them real fast so I can email them to myself. Of course, these might be like the later in the series revolvers, but I want to at least like look at them just so I have an idea of what I was thinking. There we go. I found the picture. All right, just got to email to myself real fast. Let's see. August pistols. And send. Excuse me. Oh my goodness, my allergies are really wrecking me today. Alright, where's the email I just sent? Don't be a butt. Send the email. Oh, they're there. They just took a minute. Here I am being impatient. Alright, download. What? Unsupported or file corrupted? No way. You better work. Why? Why? I just want my picture of the pistols that I did. What is happening? Why is it not working? Fine, I'll send a different picture then. Oh my goodness. Sorry guys. I'm gonna try one more time. I'm gonna see if I get this to work. I wonder if I go into my downloads if it'll just open. Whoop. That would be super cool if it did that. No? Okay. Well, shit. I don't know what's wrong with it. This is This is pretty frustrating. Hold on, let me see if maybe this new file will work. And let's see if I can open it. What? Why is it an unsupported file format? It should just be a freaking JPEG. Son of a bitch. Well, anyway, I'll pull them onto the screen. This is what I came up with. I think these might be like later down the line, but I kind of wanted to at least have an idea of like what I came up with. So I was gonna have two different ones. One for this one's like a more powerful revolver, has like more of like the kind of like AoE shots and for taking out like, you know, larger groups or larger enemies. And this one would be like faster and like more precise. So when I need those, I'll pull them back over here on the screen. So I'll stick them off to the side for now. All right, so yeah, I was gonna do some concept art here. So I do need a little bit of some. Let's grab some of my references for some of the anatomy, some of the clothing here. I tried to grab a bunch of it like last night, but I got really tired, so I wasn't able to like finish it up. So let me open my references. Let's see. So we need a back. So I got that. Oop. And we need a front view of the torso. I'm not too entirely worried about like the legs because I'm gonna stick them in some jeans. August is definitely a jeans dude, so no question about what I'm gonna do for his pants. So I don't have to worry about that. Let me just get some of this anatomy stuff for the upper body here. And then I'll see if I can find some images of like the jacket. Since he's, you know, he uses the tool pistols, he's basically not necessarily a gunslinger, but more of a spell slinger. So his pistols allow him to channel his chaos magic into different forms and attack patterns of his ether. So he needs to have like an object to channel his magic through. Unlike Val doesn't need that. His magic is a bit different. So let's do that and that. Oh, here's the front and the back. Do that. You know, just getting various references here just to make sure that I can, you know, I'm not going to go like super into detail because this is of course going to be a like a character sheet concept art, so it doesn't need to be like fully like polished or anything. Just to get the ideas. You know, we just want to make sure that his character informs just by looking at him that he's like a gunslinger brawler type. He's definitely like, he's the muscle out of the two. Even though Val's magic is actually stronger than his is different though. Like Val can do like defensive magic, and when he does offensive magic, he's just not good at it. So it's very like, it causes a lot of trouble. Val is also not allowed to hold guns, by the way. He's so bad with them. All right, so we got some of those. Let me get me some references of the jeans. Should be pretty easy to do. I know I had some before from the back, but I want to get some like front shots too. Oh, here's like actually a similar walking kind of pose here. So let me go ahead and get that. I'll stick that in my references. I just want to make sure that everything is as we need here. So put that in here. And we're going to make these jeans a little bit tighter on him because he's pretty athletic. He used to play football, so he's a bigger dude, for sure. Find a couple more. Then we can get rolling. Well, I should find some of the jackets too. That would probably be good too. Just so you guys can see like what I'm trying to accomplish, what I'm trying to come across here. This guy's got some big ass legs. Holy shit. Looking like my legs. My legs are big like that. Windseeker knows I have massive legs, so. It's definitely something I never skimp on when I go to the gym, so. But I just genetically have big legs anyway, so. I got lucky. Let's see if we can find some jackets. Let's do men's jackets. We'll do concept art and see, because it's always good to look up like concept art itself when you're doing artwork. That way you can get like kind of an idea of you know, maybe you can jump off of you know, something else that might pique your interest, but you do want to make sure that it's still like, you know, your own. You don't want to like straight up take someone else's design. So let's see if I can find anything cool. I'm kind of thinking he'll have one of like the shorter jackets to give him lots of room to like, you know, aim and move around, and he'll be able to like, of course, like I said, he's like a brawler too, so you know, he's very physical even with his pistols. Like when they get up close, he's not in trouble at all. In fact, they're still in trouble if they rush him and he doesn't make the shot. Not seeing anything too cool right now. But what I'll do is I'll leave this reference sheet up on my other screen here for when I need to like you know, look at like the materials and that kind of thing and see what I can make. All right. I think we're good. I think we can get started now. Sorry, guys. So let me find my glove. Oh, it's on the floor. There we go. All right. So normally what I would do is I would do like a different kind of sketch, but I think I'm just gonna go into like some sketchy line work here just because again, you know, it's just concept art, so we don't have to have it be like super like polished or anything. We can just kind of do like quick, almost like gestural. Ugh. And I know I have one for the arm here, so like that. And you can just do kind of like quick little lines like this to represent where like the muscles and whatnot are. Always a good idea to use references. We're gonna erase away some of these. Some of these are getting a little chicken scratchy, and we don't want that. And it looks like this needs to come down a little bit more so we can also utilize our shit, what is this? I can't talk today. You guys know what I mean. It's a tool and it's a liquefy tool. Haha. Ah, that's what I'm talking about. Oh my god. Jeez. I don't know what my problem is today. I think it's because I really just want to go back to sleep. But I've got stuff I need to do. So I wish I wasn't so tired last night. I would have done like a lot of this like prep work stuff ahead of time, so you guys didn't have to sit through it. But here we are. Alright, let's see. And then this kind of goes like that. Onto the wrist area. And there's kind of one that goes like that. So we'll just kind of leave it like that. It'll be fine. We're going to kind of erase away a little bit of that actually, because it looks, there's too many lines. Alright, good enough for that arm. And again, he's pretty beefy, so oh my goodness. Can I draw a line? And of course, like the idea with concept art is you're supposed to be able to like get ideas out quickly. So that's what I'm trying to like aim for here, is to not take too terribly long on like the details and whatnot. I'm probably already taking like way longer than I probably should, but think go back to one of these so I can see. I know sometimes these muscles are like kind of grouped together here. Kind of like go like up like this a little bit. Something along this line. This isn't going to be 100% accurate. I'm not too terribly worried about it. Just as long as we get the idea. He's got abs. Let's see, in the belly button will probably be around here. And the only reason I'm drawing like his anatomy and things like this is because he does have scars that are important to who he is as a character, and he also has tattoos on his body that they're part of like the either system, like his magic. So it's important that we show the things that are important to his character. So things that are relevant, to his character. So Let's see. He's got his like lats back there. There's actually like a little muscle there, as far as I'm aware. I mean, I grew up playing video games in like the 80s and the 90s where like I'm fairly sure they made up muscle groups, so especially like comics and stuff, like they 100% made up muscle groups. There's no way they did. Characters were impossibly beefy. And a lot of these muscles don't actually show through, but I'm just kind of drawing them just so I get an idea where they are. As long as we know that he's beefy, that's all that really matters. Alright, and then we'll just quickly do hands here. Kind of keep in mind like the planes a little bit. I haven't decided whether I'm going to give him gloves or not. I used to give him like pretty like I don't know, pretty big gloves, but now that I think about it, like they kind of like really didn't help as like a informing like a design choice that he of what he does. So we'll see. Maybe we can come up with something that helps like visual storytelling, like who he is as a character, and is like, you know, we also want to think of like their personalities too when you do you know, when you try to come up with like the designs for their outfits and everything. That should also like reflect. But these are also Webtoon characters, so they need to have like pretty simple outfits because we're going to be drawing them a lot. Alright, let me get my jeans reference. I don't know if I already threw it in here. I don't think I did. Let me go ahead and grab it. Clothing, let's see. We'll use this one because it's very similar to the pose we already have. So let's see. So it kind of starts like just under the belly button here. And of course, we got his little junk area, jank area. So we'll kind of erase this away a little bit. I am going to draw like some other clothes, of course, like over the rest of him, but I'm not too worried about that at the moment. And let's see. So the pockets kind of seem to start kind of right where the obliques are. Kind of come like that. It's always good to find like landmarks on the things that you're drawing. Like, oh, this is close to this, so I should make sure that I, you know, draw it at least in like a pretty similar area. So bring this out a little bit. So generally, like with jeans, like a lot of the, like, this is where the tension's going to be coming off. So depending on like how tight they are, you want them to pretty much follow the shape of like the leg. And this story does take place in like a futuristic setting, but that doesn't mean like we have to have like crazy like future clothes all the time. I feel like, you know, fashion doesn't change too terribly much, at least that I've noticed. It doesn't get like wild, like, you'll see movies like Back to the Future where they have like all sorts of like neon and like plastic and shit like all over everybody, and that was supposed to be like what, in like 2002 or something, and like literally nobody was dressing like that. So I mean, it's fun to like think about, it's fun to be creative and all, but I'm pretty sure nobody's gonna be like wearing like shit like that's too crazy. So I'm not gonna go out of my way to do that. But it's totally okay if you want to. If you want to have like a super like, some like neo like Tokyo style like stuff like that, it's totally fine. If your story takes place in the future, you can go wild with the, I'll have some designs later with the other characters, especially when I get to Leviathan. I really like Leviathan. He's J Rock inspired. So he has some wild outfits. He's a lot of fun to draw. Actually, I'm not going to spoil it too much, but I should actually call him them. There's reasons for it other than gender identity, so he's a really cool character. They're a really cool character. Sorry. Jesus. I am so bad at speaking today, guys. I apologize. Alright, there we go. We got some jeans. And I pulled some shoes, I thought. Some boots that Havoc had found. I thought I did at least. But let me go ahead. She made a whole folder on Pinterest for me for these characters, so I should definitely make sure I'm referencing all the hard work she did where she put all these like things together. So let's see. Oh, she changed the name on some of these. Let's see. Ooh, these are pretty cool references. Hell yeah. Nice. I should have looked at this sooner. I'm a bad husband. Don't mind me. Whew, I'm super thirsty today too, damn. Let's see. So that's one thing I can do to show that things are a little bit more like modern is I can make like the boots cool. Like I could put like some maybe like some glowy effect on it because I love putting glow effects on things whether they belong or not. So that's something we could do to kind of quote unquote show that it's like a different time period without going like too far out there. Oh my god, where is... I swear I saw it. I was looking through it like last night, and for some reason I thought I saved it, and I guess I didn't. Where is he? Where is he? Should be like one of the first characters in here. Oh my god, I'm starting to get a headache too. This freaking this weather is awful. Alright, I think I found it. Oh, she's got a bunch of stuff in here. Okay, cool. I'll have to make sure I use some of this. There it is. It's not really a men's boot, but we can adapt it to be a men's boot because I think it looks neat either way. So let me grab it real quick. Alright. I'm also like really bad at drawing like boots and shoes, so we're gonna just do our best here. Actually, I'm not even sure this was supposed to be in August's folder, but we're gonna see if we can do something cool with it. Because he doesn't really need like a platform boot. Maybe I won't make it a platform. I'll give it like a little jam here. Because he's already plenty tall. Definitely a big dude. And this doesn't have to be like the final thing that we choose either, of course, because, you know, we're working on like, you know, designs, concepts here, so we can just use this as like a first iteration, basically. I think it does work pretty well though. And it wasn't terribly hard to draw. I made it really scratchy, which we do want to avoid. But what I can do is I can clean all this up too when we finalize the designs. We're kind of just going with like letting ideas flow at the moment until we figure out what we want. There's some laces on it, so we'll just kind of do that. Then I want to make sure that all this kind of like fits too. I mean, we want to give his foot like some room to breathe. It's probably good. Now let's see if I can do that with this. So again, I'm not like super well versed in drawing like footwear, so it's good practice. So maybe if I draw this as like a whole piece, because that's what it kind of is, kind of a whole piece. Like that comes up, and this kind of is like that, and then it would have like where it's lifted. Oh my goodness, I'm so bad at this. Make sure there's like a little, maybe we'll do like a cool little like cyber buckle instead of like a regular traditional buckle. Maybe that's where we'll put like our little quote unquote futuristic details. And this boot's gonna be kind of tilted a bit, and we're gonna move it around with our thing here. And let me flip it, make sure it looks okay the other way. That's good enough for now. Make sure that I save. I don't think I've saved this at all yet. All right, cool. So let's draw his face. And I've got a lot of references for how I used to draw him. But I think what I want to do, I mean, he's still going to look like pretty, I think I got his face like pretty well down, but August is a man-ass man, so, you know. I like to give him like a nose bridge. I think it makes him look like more manly, personally. And he's kind of a delinquent, so he'd have like some like kind of delinquent like expression. I don't really want to go too overboard with the lines here. He does have a scar on his lip going over his lip, and it would come up a little bit like that. And he has a really big scar across his chest, and there is a reason for that. A little backstory on that one, so we'll go ahead and we'll draw that out. That's a major part of his character, and it's important, so we'll make sure that he has it. And let me get like his hairline here. And I like to give him like the old school like anime chop sideburns. Again, to keep him like, I don't know. I think it makes him look manly, but that's just me. It's probably should draw where his eyes are first so I don't cover him up. Let's get like his expression going too. August has really big thick eyebrows, so maybe that might be a little too thick there. He's got like the delinquent slope to his eyes as well. Actually, his eye might be a little too high up. Should actually follow our guidelines here. It's like the whole point of using the 3D model here is having a guide. Here I go, not using it. Oh my god. Can't draw today. We'll definitely have to go back and we'll clean this all up, of course, later. Let's have like he's kind of like looking like. And his mouth actually might need to come down just a bit. Kind of tilt it a little bit, like do it like that. And he has a scar across his nose bridge, which is also important to him as a character. And I always kind of give him like these little lines here because he's a bit older. Kind of make sure this is looking all right from both directions here. Now I can actually get his like anime ass sideburns. And let's make sure that his hairline goes far enough. Be like that. Let's get his other eye here. Make sure we get his eyelid first, because it makes it a little easier, I think, to draw the other eye on this side when you have the eyelid kind of like where it's supposed to be. Alright, and then I can get his, put where his other, the sideburns are from the side here. Have him kind of curl up and around a little bit like this on his face. Alright, now we can start doing his hair. And I think I also gave him like some, give him a little bit of a scar here on his eyebrow. You know, also kind of shows that he's like been in scuffles. He's kind of like, you know, like I said, like the brawler type. And then let's see, so I usually have him so he's got like a little bit of a hair thing here. Like that. And then his other hair kind of goes a little across his face here. He has some other pieces that kind of come out. Might need to bring this down so I can fit his whole hair and everything in there. So do this. Make sure we still have plenty of room over here. We do. And he's got some hair strands that go back. Oops, I'm doing this on the totally the wrong layer. Yeah. Let's actually have some kind of crisscross in this way. We're just kind of, I'm just kind of playing with the design I already had for him. Kind of had him where he's got kind of like where it flips out in the back here a little bit. I just want to make sure that I can still, of course, draw this from different angles. So it also kind of Comes like this and then comes together a little bit in the back here. I have some other hair that kind of goes this way. He's got a lot of hair. He's got big hair, so. And it also kind of flips. It flips on the other side too a little bit. So we have some that come out this way as well. Just want to make sure that we show that too. It sticks out a little bit over there. And like I said, when we go to clean this up, I can fix it if need be. Well, that's too big. That's also too big. We want to make sure that we have the right that. All right, so we got that. So I'm going to turn this off for a sec here. I'm going to make sure nothing looks weird. We got some things that do look a little weird here, so we're going to fix that best we can. I think his jaw looks kind of weird, but it's also the angle that he's got his head at here. Oh, I didn't give him an ear. That would help. I was like, why does his head look weird? His head also looks a little big too, so we're gonna pinch that a bit. Looks a little more proportional. All right, let me give him an ear because, of course, he deserves one. There we go. All right, I think that's looking pretty good until we clean it up. Might need to pinch his neck in a little bit. That's looking kind of, I mean, he's a big dude, but that's kind of like too beefy. So we'll bring that in a bit here. That's a bit better. Yeah, that's better. Alright, so what I think I'm going to do is we'll just do a tiny bit of cleanup here. Some of these areas, because they're like, it's kind of hard to tell a little bit with his hair what's going on. He should have some kind of go out in different directions there. This one kind of comes up over the top. Trying to think of, like, you know, the ways that his hair like overlaps and whatnot, so we can tell what's going on here. And on the sideburn area here. There we go. We just kind of want to be able to see a little bit better from a distance about how it kind of looks. So I'm going to duplicate that, hit multiply, we're going to give it some blur, and we're going to put this in a folder. We're going to do front facing sketch lines. I guess I should put body. So we still have to do like his outfit and stuff. And his tattoos. Let's see. So what I'm going to do is take this. I'm going to select the inverse. We're just going to fill it with a neutral color here. There we go. So we have like a basic silhouette. Because we're going to be checking like his overall silhouette too to make sure that we can recognize that it's him, even if it's all blacked out. Because that's important. Looks like the hair's doing all right here for the most part, but we'll just, because we're going to really go into this more later. There we go. That's good enough. Hey, how's it going? Doing some character design, concept art, and sketches for like the webcomic characters. I needed to do updated like character sheets and stuff. So that's what I'm working on. Working on August right now. Alright, cool. So let's see. So I need to figure out his tattoos. Oh no, it's okay. Do not worry about it at all. So let's see. Let me go back here and see if Havoc has some stuff that I can use for the tattoos. Because they're for channeling like his ethers, so we want to make sure that they kind of like flow like that. So here's some symbols. I'm going to stick those in my references. So let's make a folder for that. We'll do tattoos. And we'll do magic tattoos. because not everybody's tattoos are going to be magic. And then August. All right, save that in there. And let's see what else she's got for me that might help. Got some alchemy. Because chaos magic is like occult magic, so it's going to have a lot to do with alchemy. So I'm just trying to get the symbols. I don't want to make it too complex again because I have to draw this a lot. So I don't want to go too crazy with it. Oh, I just got like some ideas of where the tattoos could be placed, so that's helpful. And I know there was one in particular I should use. I think it's called like a chaos star. I think I remember what it looks like though, off the top of my head, so that's good. I wanted to like, you know, decently like make sense, so. Let's see if we can blend alchemy symbols with like a flow. That way it like, you know, kind of looks like it makes sense. So I'm gonna do, what I'm thinking is might have it like blacked out initially and then just carve away from there. Might be like a good way to do it here. So I'm thinking is like we'll do like the chaos star like here. I'm just gonna rough it because again we're just, you know, we're doing concept here, so I guess you wouldn't really be able to see the top of that point there. And for a lot of people that don't know, like a lot of like symbols, like especially as far as like circles and whatnot go, are not only for like completing like circuits in like a magic rune, but also for like a lot of times they're used for like protection. Even though he's mostly offensive, he needs to have at least some like protective like kind of magic a little bit. Keep himself alive, of course. Like they're fairly used to like dealing with like the zombies, but as the story progresses, you get like much more dangerous beings. It escalates quickly. guess I can show a little bit of this one up here. Alright, that's a good start. So let's see, let's grab the tattoo references. So grab those. And then there's a couple more in here I should probably grab. And I put the big chaos star on the back of their fathers, so he has a tattoo. Save that. Just kind of like placement stuff. Might be cool to have it come up onto his neck too. Alright, so let's look at some of these. So, protection. We definitely wanted to kind of like light up here. And I think some of these, I really wish I knew the meanings of a lot of these. Oh, here we go. Spirit of wine, denarius, digest, distill, aqua, brick, ashes. Ooh. That's kind of cool. Ashes would make sense. Gum, a crucible, steel finger fillings, lethargy. Is that all the ones that I grabbed? There should be some more. You know, I don't want to just like randomly put it on there, even though like stuff might like look cool. Let's see. There's definitely some more in here. What's this one? Save. And was this it? Or is that the one I already had in there? It's the one I already had in there. Shit. This is the one I was looking for here. So, oh my god, it's so hard to see. Can't really read a lot of these. That one's a fire one. Let's do some fire symbols. I think that would work pretty well. Especially for the type of offensive magic he uses. So we'll kind of do... And I'll figure out ways to like link these. Incomplete sealing. I don't know what the hell that says. I wish these weren't like so low res. Could see what the hell they say. Solution. Oh, that's kind of cool. Maybe I can use that to kind of like link some of this. smoke screen reverberation. It's kind of cool. Maybe I can kind of link these together with like some lines, and we can do like the rune notches. Might make it look good. That might be a way to connect some of these symbols together. Strong fire. I think I kind of want to put that like on the hand. That would be something like that. And then we can kind of like link with like a, I think like a solution would be cool right there. Purification. That might work too for parts of this. So let's we're gonna kind of blend some of these together, I think. So and then I gotta try to remember to look at these again when I go to draw the character, of course. Here's another purification. Well, there's a couple purification ones here, so what we'll do is we'll kind of have those like that, and reverberation. I already put that one. Pulverize. Ooh, that's cool. And I might end up like changing like a lot of this stuff at some point. Just kind of like playing with ideas right now. Precipitation. Grades of fire. I'm also kind of looking for symbols that might like look kind of cool, like near each other. Oops. Just realized that this needs to come first, so that, and then we can kind of use it almost like a band kind of thing. And then I'll probably carve out more of this so it's not super black. Like everything doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be a completely blacked out tattoo, so I think this is mix. It's cool. Fusion. Ooh, that's cool. Let's use this fusion one here. Maybe an occultist will see this, or an alchemist, and be like, "What the hell? Why is this all together? This doesn't make sense." And I'll be like, "I'm sorry. Help me with it, then." these like solution lines in here too. And I probably shouldn't get too fixated on just using this little chart here. Abstraction. Fire of rotation. And let's look at my other symbols here. Distill, aquafortis, aquaregalis, a brick, calcine. There's the ashes one. I thought that one was cool. Figure out where to put it. Might be good on like a knuckle or something. I was like trigger finger. Might be cool. Line, quick line, wax, Heartsborn, a crucible, crystal, gum, oil. I like some of these like steel filling symbols would be cool on there too, at least one. Not sure what some of these are. But, you know, this is the whole reason we're making like a character sheet, is so we can always go back and reference these when I go to draw them. Opener of doors. Oh. That actually might work pretty well on the hand too, because that and that. Let's see, what do these other ones do? Protection, protect, travel protection, attract, money, banishment. Oh, that one's kind of cool. That looks like Arabic almost. I look through these references that you gave me some more to see if I can find anything else that would be cool or anything I can read that would help. What is this? Open. Sigil of Mars. Seals of Mars. Mars is kind of like for like action and that kind of thing, so that might be good for him. So we'll do that. It's too bad Havoc's at work today. She could actually help me with this to make sure I'm not just making a complete ass of myself. coming up with this stuff. Like, no, that doesn't make sense. Why would you put that there? Like, I don't know. I'm not super. Like, I know a little bit about some magic, but not too much. Not as much as her. So she is much better versed in it than I am. So I do things kind of like intuitively. So I do need to actually learn so I can like zero stuff in and make things actually happen. So need to be better at it. Those are really complex circles. I don't want to do any of that. Yeah. Yeah, Havoc definitely has like the Demon Lord magic. She's the one that's the the main magic user of the two of us. I'm more on the psychic side and she's more on the magic side. I'm like empathic and I can sometimes see things that other people can't see, so pretty neat. Used to scare me, doesn't scare me anymore. Now that I know more about it. What is this? Okay, those are herbalist symbols, so he's definitely not an herbalist. I think I need. Well, I don't necessarily need anything right here. I guess I could start kind of like carving out to like link and make some cool like designs and shapes here. So I think it needs some more negative space as far as like tattoo goes. So let's kind of just let's block it out in a couple spots and see how that looks. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I've had similar experiences. Not like that intense, but like um and they certainly don't last as long as hers, but yeah, I watched that anime, I'm like, this is hilarious. She's like, just pretend I can't see him and then they won't know, and it's like, yeah, I feel that. It's so good though. I wonder if they're gonna make another season. That'd be cool. I like it when she sees the gods at the shrine. That's pretty sick. Oh, crap. Shit. Uh, oh my god, I don't remember. It's good though. I really liked it. I will. What I'll do, Pensy, is I will look at my Crunchyroll later, and I will put it in the Discord for you. Oh, I'm sorry you don't feel well. Thank you for being here, though. I do really appreciate it. I know this probably as exciting as like my other streams because I'm just like, coming up with stuff, but Mercury, yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's really good. You should check that out, Betsy. Yeah, she has it really bad. Like if my life was like that, I'd be like, I don't know about this. I would have to take a lot more medication than I already do. No, I'm just kind of making up some symbols and shapes that are kind of similar at this point. I don't know if that looks kind of like off or not. Yeah, they're super creepy. Oh, that's right. I was gonna connect these into like a system. Kind of like that, like a circuit. Yeah, it's mostly horror. I mean, I'd say it's pretty much horror. I mean, it's not like super like gnarly, but it's a little bit, I guess, kind of comedic too. Just a bit, just because it's just like such a ridiculous situation for her. Whoa. Don't do that. Don't block out his whole body. It's too much. Yeah, it's more just creepy than anything, I would say. Kind of feel like should have some that kind of branch out here. Maybe also similar to the star, just to kind of keep some design elements. I don't know about that. Meh. Meh. No. Erase. Erase. That's what I want. Jeez. Tattooing is hard. This is why I don't do this as a profession. Here, let's turn down the opacity on that a bit. Yeah, I don't know. Like IRL, my hands are definitely not steady enough, especially like now that I've gotten older. Let's put a more like negative space one on here. So we're gonna take some of the elements of what we did on the other one, and we're gonna see if we can replicate it into something that's like similar. We'll see if we can make up some of our own little kind of like alchemic things here. Oops. It would help if I did this on another layer because it's a different tattoo. Yeah, I think having one arm blacked out and then the other arm having a more negative space one would be cool. Maybe what I'll do is I'll use this, and then I can kind of like erase away some of it. Might be a faster way to get some ideas out here. I know alchemy's got a lot of like circles and squares involved. So we're gonna roll with that too, with his chaos magic. Just kind of some of the similar shapes. I think it might be easier just like to make up some of this. Especially since it's not like 100% grounded in reality here, of course, so. We'll just use like similar shapes. Put some come over his shoulder here. That. Like I said, I don't want to get too complex, so I think that's probably good. I'll run them by Havoc later and see how she feels about it. You know, if she hates it, then I will totally change them. All right, we got him with some tattoos here. So let's go ahead and let's add some base colors to him. And I already have some colors palettes kind of saved. Alright, that's the one he's not quite as, doesn't quite have as much red in his skin as his brother does. But he's still nice and tan because they're out in the desert. This place takes place in Texas after the flashback. The flashback is in North Carolina. Because they're from North Carolina. Oh, good choice. I definitely need to drink something. And I'm sitting up straight, and I'm going to save. Yeah, the character, Val and August are from North Carolina in the story, but the story itself takes place in Texas after the flashback. Let's see. Maybe a different color for the tattoos would be cool. Maybe if he had them. Like, he does have a lot of red in his design, but I don't know if red would be good for the tattoos too. Maybe if they were like a blue, that might be kind of cool. I don't know. I guess I'll just leave them black for now, so I figure it out. Yeah, well, I used to go to a lot of like metal shows in like North Carolina, and people were always like super super nice at those shows. So I always had a good time when I went there to go to like concerts and stuff. So let's get like this color for like the jeans. See how we feel about colors, because of course there's different colors of jeans too aside from blue. But once we start putting some like his jacket and his other stuff on him, then we can adjust the colors. Oh yeah. Definitely way nicer than where I currently live. I'm not gonna dox myself, but yeah. Let's just say people were surprised that we were nice when we told them where we were from. When we came, they're like, huh, like you guys are usually dicks. I'm like, yeah, I know. No, you're fine. I mean, it's not like I have like thousands of like viewers yet, so I don't have any that I'm aware of. I don't have any crazies that are looking to do me harm here. So not that I know of. All right, so we'll do that, and I can get his hair and stuff out of the way because I already know the colors for that. I mean, I have most of his design like pretty well thought out already. It's just I wanted to update it for the updated chapter, so it's you know, now that my art's better, I wanted to do better designs. So especially with like more thought in mind. Like before, I didn't really know how to do like character design, and now I've watched like a shitload of videos on it, so I feel more confident that I can go more in the right direction. Oh my god, erase. Oh shit, it did that on the skin layer. Son of a bitch. That's okay. We can leave it on the skin layer. It's alright. We're not going to do any. We're not doing like actual rendering here, so. Ooh, you got a new tablet? What'd you get? I'm excited. Pensy getting into digital art. Hell yeah. Oh, you haven't got it yet? There's some pretty affordable ones now. Like XP Pen has one that's called like a I think it's called like a magic drawing pad or something like that. I think it's only like 200 bucks. Something like that, which is really good for a tablet. Um I use like The tablet I'm using right now is an XP Pen uh, 24 Pro, like the first model, so it's like a big giant one. But I do like XP Pen products. Huion is actually really good now, especially for like affordability. We got one for Havoc that she can draw with, just like a smaller one, like a 13-inch one. Yeah, it works really well. I wish it was this affordable when I first started digital art, because it was like, thousands of dollars before. Lenovo Tab 1. Cool, I'll have to look that up. I'm sure, like, most modern tablets now can perform like digital art on them, so. And if you need like me to link you like YouTube videos on how to like get started, or if you just kind of want to like draw along like with me and I can give you like little tips here and there, that way you can get used to it quicker. The main difference between digital and traditional when you make the jump is it's a different surface. So it's going to be more like glidey rather than having like a texture to it. So getting used to that is the hardest part. All right, we got his scars. We got some tattoos. Yeah, there's a reason for that one. Well, all of his scars actually have a reason. I try not to give them scars just cause. So, actually, he's technically got another one. He's got another one down here that I forgot to include. There we go. Yeah, it's been storming on and off here. Like, it's been storming a lot. It's like it hasn't stopped storming, really. It's kind of crazy. It's like, what is happening with the weather here? It's like, have we just like ruined this planet so bad that like the weather is just going to be permanently bad? Because it sure as hell feels like it. The planet itself like is like, I have a fever, so I have to get rid of like what's making me sick. Some Final Fantasy 7 here. There we go. It's pretty good for that. Make sure I save. That makes sense. Alright, so we might not get too much farther than this. I think I'm just going to finish up the... I'm going to put down some colors for the boots. And then I think I'm going to call it a day because I'm extremely tired. So... I know he's going to have a lot of red in his design, so I'm going to go ahead and block in some of this red, and then I'll probably go over it with some other colors. Oh yeah. If you do any more like artwork of her, I'll definitely like check it out. I'm not going to have his boots like pure red here because that's just obnoxious. I mean, he's a pretty boisterous character, but we don't really need that much like attention to his boots here. So, oops. I don't know how that happened. Let's get that and delete that away. And come up there. Cut some of that out. There we go. Alright, so I definitely need to break it up a bit with some other color. So we'll do kind of like a super dark gray, I think. Well, I'll break it up in some spots. So let's do there. Actually, let's have like the majority of it actually be this color. Well, it might look good to leave that like that. It might actually be fine design-wise. Oops. I'm doing this all in the same layer, so I just need the same color. Oops. Keep forgetting when I do these like sketchy things that I don't have everything all separated out like I normally do. Let's repeat this and some other spots. So let's do the top of the tongue here, darker. Might as well do this black as well. And then I think what I'll do is I'll do the little glowies on it because I like doing that. Kind of want to give them some like some of this like that. Nothing too like fancy or complex. I think that would be cool. There we go. I might actually desaturate this a little bit here. I think that's a little too saturated. Oh, I don't know how that red ended up there, but we're going to fix that. Because we want less saturation the farther we get away from like the focal point of the character. So I'm also going to make them kind of darker. Maybe a little more saturation. There we go. I don't know how that ended up there. Actually, he might look kind of cool with some red streaks in his hair. I don't know. We'll think about it. Alright. Well, that's a pretty good start, I think. And I can get into doing like the rest of his clothes and whatnot later. It actually took like way longer than it should just for concept art. Sorry, guys. Alright, let me make this nice and big here. So we didn't get super far, but this is as far as we got. At least we established like his tattoos. We got some boots. I got base color down. Of course, I'm going to have like after I get his jacket and stuff, I'm going to do the back view, and then I'm going to do like an up close for like the finalized so far. So yeah, let me go ahead and pop over into the lobby here. I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate you guys keeping me company. Just kind of like a little bit of a shorter stream today. I'm starting to get a headache, so I'm probably going to lay down and just oh wow, ads as I'm like wrapping up. So I'll wait. Ads are so rude. This is like the most awkward time to have ads. Oh, jeez. They still rolling there, Pensy? Man, these must be like the 3-minute ads. Holy crap. All right. That was super rude. Anyway, as I was saying, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me on this stream today. I really appreciate it. I might possibly stream tomorrow. I do have Final Fantasy 16. I've been itching to play, and I definitely do want to stream it. I know for sure I'm going to be streaming it on Friday. I normally take Wednesdays off. So I'll definitely be back Thursday. We're gonna work on some actual panels for Born and Raised. If you guys aren't following me, go ahead and give me a follow to see when I go live. If you like the kind of content I do, please consider subscribing. That would help me out a ton. Thank you so much to the people that are lurking and those that are watching later on YouTube. You guys are great. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will catch you most likely on Thursday. Bye. Oh, hey. Came in right as I was wrapping up. So, give me a follow and I'll hang out with you next time, okay? Bye, guys. Oh, you were lurking. Nice. I like it. All right. I'll catch you later, dude. Bye.